Hi all and welcome back to the channel. Now this will be more of an informative video that I have for you today, and I'm going to cover one of my favorite gangs of the army list of Gang Wars, which is basically one-page rules version of Necromunda. And as I said, I'm going to cover one of my personal favorites, and that are the Enforcers. Now I'm going to go into a little bit of a backstory before I get into how they play. Now the Enforcers are a gang, and yes, they are considered a gang as well. Now they are mercenaries who are hired for their excellent combat and strategy tactics. As a gang, they are a little different than the rest. In fact, these men and women are what serve as the law down in the deep, endless industrial decay of the planets. Though not quite in the way as a police force would operate, as we know police to do, but rather the way they handle things is basically already in their name. They enforce the law, which basically is pretty much the same way as a battle brother would do. Now, these guys do arrest people, but they take a rather brutal approach to criminals, meaning they definitely don't shun away from violence in making their arrests. Now, they kind of have to, because otherwise the gangs would run all over them. Now, these guys are a force to be reckoned with on the table, and they are a great way to start playing gang wars if you like to play the quote-unquote good guys. Now, for my personal opinion, how they play, they are a well-balanced group, gang, to play with, especially if you're a beginner, but they can be upgraded to have some cool gear and skills. And a few things do strike me a little odd, but I'll get to that later. Now, I personally like them a lot, especially if you create some lore around your squad, as I tend to do for each one of my battle reports, as most of you already know by now. The army list and the stats for this group, basically for all the armies, can simply be found on the website for one-page rules, or if you have the app, the stats are all in there as well. But I'll put a link in the description down below so you can check out their websites. Now, let's get into the units. Alright, so here on the screen we can see the army lists for the Enforcers, version 2.50. Now we're going to begin with the Enforcer Champion, which is one model, has a quality of 4 up, a defense of 4 up, equipment is carrying a heavy rifle that shoots 24 inches, has an attack of 1 and an armor piercing of 1. Now for its close combat weapon, it just has an attack of 1. For special rules, he has the Fearless rule, the Hero rule and the Tough 3 rule, which means he has 3 wounds. Now you can upgrade him using the table content from A and B, and the total cost of this model without upgrades is 40 points. Moving on to the Subjugator Champion, again one model, quality 4 up, defense 4 up, carrying a heavy pistol that shoots 12 inches, 1 attack, armor piercing of 1, and his close combat weapon has 2 attacks. Now he has the Fearless rule, the Hero rule, he also has Shield Wall, so check out the description for the special rules, what that does. And he also has Tough 3, so he also has 3 wounds, and he can be upgraded using the content from tables B and C, and he costs 50 points. Now for a regular patrolman, he has a quality of 5 up, defense of 4 up, shoots a heavy rifle that shoots 24 inches, has 1 attack, armor piercing of 1, close combat weapon which has 1 attack, and it has the Fearless special rule. And he can be upgrading using the contents from the table using number D. The letter D, sorry. And he costs 15 points for one model. Now, as for here we have the Rookie, which has a quality of 5 up, a defense of 4 up, shoots a heavy pistol that shoots 12 inches, 1 attack, armor piercing of 1, close combat weapon, 2 attacks, Fearless rule, and can be upgraded using E, also 15 points. And this is the part that I said that I was a little confused about, but we'll get to that later, as for some reason the Rookie has more upgrades than the Patrolman. But it could be that I'm just reading it wrong. Now we're going into the Robo Dog next. Quality of 4 up, defense of 4 up. For equipment, it has a vicious bite that does 2 attacks with an armor piercing of 1. Now for the special rule, this creature or robot is fast and also has the fearless rule, but it cannot be upgraded and it costs 20 points for one. Going into the veteran next, quality of 4 up, defense of 4 up, a heavy rifle that shoots 24 inches, has 1 attack, an armor piercing of 1, and 1 attack with its close combat weapon. For special rules, also fearless, and he has relentless as well. Now he can be upgraded using the content from the table of the letter F, and the cost is 20 points. Moving on to the Subjugator, it has a quality of 4 up, a defense of 4 up. Its equipment is a heavy pistol, shoots 12 inches, has 1 attack with an armor piercing of 1, has 2 attacks with its close combat weapon. Special rules are fearless and shield wall and can be upgraded using the content table G. Now the cost for that is 25 points. And let's take a look at the Champion Enforcer upgrades. Alright, so for the upgrade we can replace a heavy rifle and a close combat weapon with 2 heavy pistols which shoot 12 inches, have 1 attack and an armor piercing of 1, but do keep in mind you have 2 pistols, which means that you have 2 attacks. And with that you also get a knife that has 1 attack, and the upgrade cost for that is for free. Now same, we can also equip him with a heavy pistol that shoots 12 inches, has 1 attack, armor piercing of 1, but we get 2 attacks with his close combat weapon, which is also for free. Now another upgrade that you can give him are 2 close combat weapons, which has 2 attacks naturally, but that will cost you 5 points. Now you can also replace any heavy pistol, and you can replace that with a shotgun that shoots 12 inches, has 2 attacks and an armor piercing of 1 for 5 points. You can also give him a sonic carbine which shoots 18 inches, has 1 attack and has a blast 3, and also the rending ability, and that will cost you 15 points. Now you can replace any close combat weapon with a shock baton that has 1 attack with a blast 3, and that will cost you 5 points. You can also duke them out with an energy fist to create some heavy punches with 2 attacks and an armor piercing of 4, which will cost you 10 points. Also you can use upgrading with bash, which has 1 attack and a combat shield, which give you shield wall for 15 points. Now you can also, going to table content B, give him the rank of captain, which will give you the special rule maintain order for 35 points, or you can give him the rank of sergeant, which will give you the special rule boot stomp for 15 points. And we will go into the special rules later at the end of the video. Moving on to the Subjugator champion upgrades. So he can also be upgraded with the rank of captain to give him maintain order for 35 points, upgraded with the rank of sergeant to give him boot camp for 15 points. As for the weapon upgrades, we can replace the heavy pistol and the close combat weapon with an assault GL that shoots 18 inches, has 1 attack and a blast 3 for 15 points, and also an assault ram that has 2 attacks and an armor piercing of 4. For the heavy weapon, that can be also replaced with a grenade launcher that shoots 24 inches, has 1 attack and a blast 3 for 15 points. This can really do some damage. Now for the close combat weapon, can be switched out for a shock baton with 1 attack, blast 3 for 5 points, and an energy fist that has 2 attacks and an armor piercing of 4 for 10 points. Now for the patrolman upgrades. Now these are little to none, so you can replace any heavy rifle with a sonic carbine that shoots 18 inches, has 1 attack and a blast 3, but also the rending ability for 10 points, which makes it a strong weapon. Or you can also outfit one of them with a sniper rifle that shoots 30 inches, has 1 attack, armor piercing of 1, but has the sniper rule, meaning you can pick out any model from a larger unit, which is irrelevant in a firefight. in this case though. But you can, yeah, that will cost you 30 points. Alright, so we're going over to the rookie upgrades. Now, for the rookie, and this is where I'm kind of confused, as the patrolmen have little to no upgrades, while the rookie have a lot. And in my opinion, I think a rookie is below a patrolman, but could be just me reading the rules wrong. But anyway, we can replace any heavy pistol and close combat weapon with also 2 heavy pistols shooting 12 inches, 1 attack, armor piercing of 1, but that will be 2 attacks as you have 2 heavy pistols for 5 points, and that will also give you a knife. You can also give him 2 close combat weapons for an additional 5 points. Now you can give him an assault GL that shoots 18 inches, has 1 attack and a blast 3 for 10 points, which will also give you an assault round for 2 attacks and an armor piercing of 4. Now replace any heavy pistol with a shotgun that shoots 12 inches, has 2 attacks and an armor piercing of 1 for 5 additional points. You can replace any close combat weapon with a shock baton that has 1 attack, blast 3 for 5 points, an energy fist that has 2 attacks, armor piercing of 4 for 5 points, and you can give him a combat shield that will give you the ability, the special rule, shield wall, and bash for 1 attack for an additional 5 points. Which in my opinion, if you upgrade them with all these things, that don't really make them rookies anymore. As for the patrolmen, they basically have no upgrades, so I'm confused about that, but that's just me. Next up is the Robo Dog. There are no upgrades for the Robo Dog, so that was quick. Veteran upgrades. Well, we can replace any heavy rifle with a grenade launcher that shoots 24 inches, has 1 attack and a blast radius of 3. Also 10 points additional cost if you want to equip him with one of these. And a sonic rammer that shoots 30 inches, has 3 attacks and rending ability for 30 points. Alright, Subjugator upgrades. Now we can replace any heavy pistol and close combat weapon with an assault GL that shoots 18 inches, has 1 attack and a blast 3 for 15 points, which will also give them the assault ram for 2 attacks and an armor piercing of 4. We can replace any heavy pistol with a grenade launcher that shoots 24 inches, has 1 attack and a blast of 3 for the cost of 10 points. Replace any close combat weapon that you like for a shock baton that has 1 attack with a blast 3 for 5 points, or an energy fist that has 2 attacks and an armor piercing of 4 for 5 points. Alright, so for the special rules, the first one is Boot Stomp. Now this model and all friendly units within 12 inch get the armor piercing 1 when fighting in melee, which is a pretty good special rule. Now follow me on the next one, it can be a little complicated, so maintain order. Once per activation, before attacking, pick 1 enemy unit within 12 inches of this model. That unit and all enemy units within 6 inch, these you may move up to 6 inch in any direction, meaning you can move the enemy player's units away from you in 6 inches in any direction or closer to you. Going over to the next one, Shield Wall. Enemies get a -1 to hit you when they attack units where all the models have this rule, but as this is for Grimdark Future Firefights, you only have 1 model, so basically enemies that attack you if you are carrying a shield get a -1 to hit you. Alright, so final thoughts. For me personally, I really like them, I can't help it. They give me this kind of Grimdark Judge Dredd vibe, and I like the fact, even though you could consider them the good guys, they really are not, but they can be if you decide to play them that way, and that's the beauty of creating your own lore. Now anyway, I like the way they play. They are quite versatile and have some powerful moves that can be dramatic for the opposition. These guys are a good all-round army and can provide fun evenings of playing, but in the end the most important thing is to collect the army, or squads or unit, whatever you want to call it, that you like, and don't be swayed by anyone else, especially not me. You're the one that plays them, you're the one that spends your money on them, so don't be distracted by the play style, but choose an army that you think is cool and appeals to you the best for whatever reason. I mean, that way you are guaranteed a great time setting up your models. Now go and have fun. And thanks a lot for watching and being patient, because this was a rather long video and maybe boring to some people, but I do hope you still enjoyed it. But anyway, thank you all for watching, guys, and all your support. You're probably wondering why I made this video. Well, for me, these are my favorite gang, along with the Femmes and the Nomads, but I am making a big 3x3 board that will be a full on Enforcer precinct with corridor rooms, elevations. I'm gonna even be making vehicles, a garage, prison cells, so stay tuned for that. All right, and again, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you soon. All right, bye for now. Bye.